Welcome. Welcome to the Kane and Reloaded Show. This your boy 305 Kane.
And it's your boy DJ Reloaded.
Before we get started, I need y'all to smash that like button so we can beat that YouTube algorithm. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever we go live. And make sure, if you love what we bring to the table here at the Kane and Reloaded Show, don't forget to share us to the friends and family. And if you're watching this on Facebook Live, make sure y'all get over to the YouTube page. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell. We go live all the time on YouTube, some of the time on Facebook. So make sure you get over there so you can get all of the great content that we like to bring to the table from the Kane and Reloaded Show. But tonight's topic, Kane and Reloaded Show gonna react to Joe Biden's Breakfast Club interview. DJ Reloaded.
Yes, sir. I kind of liked it. You know, he made some. One, I like the fact that he stepped out. He came out of the shadows and did an interview. I was just talking to you about him not doing interviews, and one of the shows I mentioned was the Breakfast Club. So when I jumped in the car on my way to work, it was a surprise. So I kind of like the fact that he did an interview. Him and Charlamagne went back and forth on different topics on the Breakfast Club. Some I like what he said, and some of it, I don't think he was being 100.
Oh.
And you know how I do. When something irked me, I just have to dig it up and try to put it together. So yeah, that's how I felt. How you felt?
I felt man, you talk offline, and you know how strongly I feel about political situations. So, I like to I'm gonna try to tone back the knob some tonight so we can stay on this YouTube platform. But you know how I feel offline. So
You used every bit of Malcolm X when I called you.
hey, so let's get into it, man.
All right, so the first thing that you pointed out was probably about the 214, 213 mark with the interview he was doing with Charlamagne. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip. Let me know where you want me to stop it, okay?
All right.
Right now, we're in a situation where it's like, that Carney show goes through town once and you find out there's no pee under any one of those three shells that get pushed around. Mm-hmm. Next time it comes back, what do you do? Next time it back, you ain't playing. You got to figure it out. Okay. And let me tell you something. My community's figured it out a while ago. But here's the deal.
Right there.
What I have to do is I have.
Now, if y'all heard what he said, right? And he said one of those little games where you move a little pee around and hide it under little cups, and you got to try to figure it out, right? And he said his community, which is the white community.
Well, let y'all know he's talking about what's going on in the world today. That's what he's talking about. As far as I just want to make sure people can put it in context that what he was talking about COVID.
Right. So he said his community figured it out a long time ago. How the white community was able to figure out about the pandemic, but we can't figure out about the pandemic. I thought we was in this together. I thought this was one nation under God.
I mean, for me, with that comment that he made, I wasn't really offended about. When he said it didn't really bother me, didn't really move me.
Let me explain why it did move me. Okay, because number one, he showed his separation from the black community. Okay, and when we get later on down into the interview, you can hear where he tried to say how connected he was to the black community. Okay, and when you listen to that comment, he tell you that his community figured it out, but he's part of the people who's supposed to help all communities figure it out. So how can they figure it out before we figure it out?
I mean, could he been talking more or less about the upper class community, not just white, but just upper class community in general, right? I mean, could he been speaking in that term? I'm just trying to look at it different.
Okay, so if you want to look at it different, you want to say the upper class community. Who's the majority of the upper class community?
I mean, I'm going to the next bullet.
Thank you, thank you, because you ain't gonna make that one. So let's keep on pushing. Pay attention to his wording and how he say things.
Again, I kind of like what Joe, some of the things that Joe said. So let me move on to the next point. Let me know where you want me to stop.
This is laying bare the institutional racism that's still prevalent in our society. And I believe we have to address it by transforming our economy, and this time bringing everybody along. And we haven't, look, he started to undermine the pillars of his economy before. Look, the blinders, Charlemagne, in my view, have been taken off. Now people recognize that those essential workers, a disproportionate amount of them are African Americans. And
so I'm gonna stop it right there. For me, I mean, he hit on a strong point that me and some of the friends have spoke about behind, you know what I'm saying, offline. A lot of the essential worker jobs that you see, I mean, think about it, right? In the last decade or so, a lot of Black women have been going to school and getting a nurse's license and nurse's degrees, right? So, I'm an essential worker. You still work throughout this pandemic. So that's why I said I like some of the things that he said, because he was speaking the truth. I can't debate or go back and forth when a man is speaking the truth and saying some real things. And by the way, there are white folks that do work and are essential as well. So I want to make sure, I want to point that out. I'm not just trying to give a good lip service to benefit, the benefit or ask for a vote. So I like what he was saying, because it does show and speak to why the pandemic was hitting our community a little bit harder.
Well, I'm gonna let y'all believe what you want to believe, and I'm gonna let you go on to the next clip.
Man, no comment, no get back.
No, because
1 point for me.
Honest, if you want me to be honest, I know for a fact that the outline of this whole situation, this pandemic, is trying to outline that the Black community has been hit harder and this, that, and the third. Every community has been hit hard, not only the Black community, but when you outline the Black community, it makes it look bigger than what it really is. And yeah, you might say some numbers are higher in this community, and because majority of the people that stay there are Black. So of course the number's going to be higher in certain areas and things like that. I don't like to get twisted in those numbers in those situations, because I think they try to make that as they focal point to try to, like, a plot to get a vote, to act like everybody is in the Black community is hit. First it was the Black people couldn't get it. Now they the ones who get it the most. Like that, it just don't make sense to me when you come in that angle. So that's what I'm saying. I don't like for people to use that angle, because it's not a Black thing, a white thing. A virus doesn't choose the skin color to kill that person. So I don't like to use that angle, or to even, I say I wanted to move past that one, because that one right there, man, to me, it's just a bunch of bull.
I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, and that's why I also said that you do have white people that are essential workers as well. So, move right along.
In a Black majority county, they're 6 times more likely to die in a pandemic than a white county. They're disproportionately uninsured in the African American community, disproportionately make up the essential jobs that they do at home.
Stop right there. Now, you heard what he said. Didn't I just say that?
Mm-hmm.
The Black community is more, they more at high risk of dying in a pandemic than the white community. because they less insured. But if you go to the hospital, are they turning you away if you got COVID-19? No, they're supposed to treat you, insurance or no insurance.
Well, I was just, earlier this week I was speaking with this brother, while I was at work, and he's a nurse, and what he was telling me is that a lot of times with Black folks, when they go to the hospital and they're told that they have this, this virus, and they're told to go home, a lot of times we just follow orders.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of times that we end up dying. What he was saying is, he's seen in his own eyes, white folks tell them they ain't going nowhere. If I feel a certain type of way, you're going to test me over and over again until we figure out what's going on with me. Basically, the brother was saying that we just accept what people tell us and we just walk out, knowing that something's wrong with us, and end up going home and dying.
That ain't what he was saying. That's what you saying.
No, I was just saying the conversation I was having with a brother earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were talking about that again. I mean, like, and having insurance and not insurance. I mean, if you go to a hospital and you're sick, at the end of the day, that's what the Obamacare was in place for, right?
I feel this comment right here because this is what I felt like he did that entire interview was mostly tried to brag.
Yeah.
I feel he touched on all of the things. He was briefed on all of the things that we have been talking about as a Black community in somewhat shape or form. And he tried to act like he was down with us. But in the beginning of his whole interview, he disconnected himself from the Black community. So please keep that in mind. He said, my community figured it out. Don't forget that now. Move on.
I like to say, I'm totally with you. I'm rocking. You know how weird it is, but those are some of the parts and things that he pointed out that I was like, okay, I wasn't really bothered by what Biden was saying. So, we're gonna move right along.
People talk about the crime bill. Crime bill didn't increase mass incarceration. Other things increased mass incarceration.
Stop. Wait, run that back. Just run that back. That's all I want.
Now, this is when I got.
Wait, stop. Just run it back. Just run it back. Before you get into you, run it back.
Crime bill didn't increase mass incarceration. Other things increased mass incarceration. And the reason why, if you go back and look, and I know you talk about it, you go back and take a look. That's why you had the vast majority of the Black caucus at the time supporting the crime bill. Almost every major city Black mayor supported the crime bill because Blacks were getting killed overwhelmingly as well. And what happened when that crime bill? It had 4 or 5 really important things.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it right there, right?
Please do.
Now here in the conversation where I started getting, upset. That crime bill did have mandatories in it. That crime bill was promoting states to open up prisons. If you go look at the crime bill itself, you'll see it in it. It's no way that he's denying that. And this is what like makes me mad about Biden, right? Like he denies what's out there that people can Google. I will respect Biden more as a man if he just accepts and say, you know what, I did write the crime bill. It did devastate the Black community. It did remove the Black man out of the community as well. If he can admit that, then you know what, and redo and try to atone for his wrongdoing and the bad policies he pushed, I can try to forgive him. But to make that statement and stand on it, I can't trust him for that.
Listen, the man clearly, once we get later on to the interview, clearly said he denied all of the negatives and tried to say it was a bunch of positives in there. Y'all just missed it.
I mean, I agree with him with some positive. I mean, the positives, like the Violence Against Women Act. I think women should be protected.
Wait. That's all. It's supposed to be some positives in there. But I'm talking on to the point of what you're saying. He denied everything that was negative about it and said Clinton was the one who did that. He opposed it.
He did do that. Absolutely. He absolutely threw Bill and Hillary under the bus and backed it up and took the keys out and went home.
Facts.
That's what he did. I mean, like he's the author. He helped write the bill.
But he didn't write those parts. That wasn't his doing.
It doesn't matter. It's just like with this whole, okay, I know that folks are watching what's going on a little bit close with that stimulus. It didn't get passed the second time around by the Senate because at the end of the day, they want to go back through it and take some things out and add some of their things into it. You negotiate these things. So when you negotiate in people's lives and you see no wrong with the mandatories as far as what you get sentenced for crack and what you get sentenced for having cocaine, if it's okay that a person with cocaine would have to have 100 times the amount of cocaine for 1 ounce of crack to get the same sentence, you got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what I just feel like he's full of BS at this point in the conversation.
So now to this point, you feel like the BS has came out for you.
Yeah, at this point, the BS started coming out because I just want him to keep it real. And I think it's hard for him to keep it real because he want to make it look like he support black people. And to the black caucus that support him, the black mayors that he brag about, I want to know who. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't say, you know what, Biden, we should have more state prisons. You should give them about $6 billion to fund prisons and keep it and get the mandatories up to 84 conviction rate. Those are high numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a state and I can say, you know what, I can get some of that free money, I want it. Give it here.
Facts.
And that's what happened. That's why you have so many states that have, you know what I'm saying, Biden, just be real with me, man.
Moving on.
You make me seem like, you know, I don't want nobody to be like, y'all some Trump supporters. You already know that's going to happen. All right, so right here.
Well, and guess what? The fact is, prison population didn't increase. 94% of every prisoner in jail is in a state prison, not a federal prison. No federal law.
So then I just say with that bill that he passed, it funded states that was building prisons. This is what the crime bill did.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's saying that it wasn't federal, it was state, as if the states was just doing it. No, the bill funded states to do it.
The bill funded privately owned prisons to blossom.
So again, when it came down to this point in the conversation, I just felt like he should have kept it real. And the record is out there that this bill devastated the black community.
Well, I smelled the BS from the beginning, but you smelled it right here. Keep it moving.
Don't do me like that, brother. Don't make me seem like I'm naive.
Nah, you was trying to be fair.
I was trying to be fair.
So you know, got that whiff of that.
Prison system that is punishment to rehabilitation. There's only a couple things everybody has in common in jail. One is they were the victims of abuse, or their kids were, or their mother was. Number two, can't read. Number three, they don't have any job skills. They were in a position where they didn't get a chance. Why does it make sense? Why did I come along and write the first act that said when you get out of prison, you don't just get a notion where you get $25 and a bus ticket. You end up under the bridge.
Let me stop right there. And the reason why I want to stop right there is, I mean, I agree, right? You want to make sure people can get the proper skills, training we need, you know, once they get on the streets, right? From prison. Elimination of higher education for inmates. This is in the crime bill. One of the more controversial provisions of the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act overturned a section of the Higher Education Act of 1965, permitting prisoners inmates to receive a Pell Grant for a higher education while they were incarcerated. So there was already an act in place in 1965 that the crime bill amended and took it out. Didn't this bill just put people under the bridge?
You just not smelt the bill? Oh, okay.
I'm just saying this. I mean, like when you say that the bill has some good things in it, and then you want to double back and try to reestablish the things that you destroyed, you kind of did it. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that.
You know, it's easy to state the obvious. You know, it's easy to sugar and sweeten things up to make it look all well and dandy. But we all know, man, what that crime bill did to us as a community. Okay, before he was running, we was complaining about the crime bill. So, you know, it's not something that we need to sit back and just say, you know, we just delusional to the whole simple fact of, man, he's stating the obvious, and then he's denying everything negative that has been said about him or that we know about him. He's denying all of the negativity, and he's stating the obvious, especially to the Breakfast Club or Charlemagne, because he's been rehearsed. Go, moving right along.
I gotta ask you though, you know, why so much resistance on admitting the crime bill and other legislation you are a part of was damaging to the Black community? Because we had Hillary on a few years ago, and Ms. Clinton said that the crime bill we made a lot of mistakes with that, and she wanted to atone for that by becoming the next president. Like,
she was wrong. What happened was it wasn't a crime bill.
Stop.
Drug legislation.
What did he do again?
Hey,
Even Hillary Clinton owned up to it.
Yeah.
And he said immediately, no, she was wrong. She was wrong. It wasn't the crime bill. It was many other things, but it wasn't the crime bill. It was everything else.
This is the only point. This like I said again, this and another part of the interview is the only thing that kind of like made me just, you know, feel some type of way. I was emotional when I heard him lie.
Go ahead.
Prison, if you are convicted of a crime, no one should be going to jail for drug crime. Period. Nobody. No matter what the crime, particularly marijuana, which makes no sense for people to go to jail. They should be just wiped out completely. And the reason is that if anything, for those crimes that are actually continue to be crimes, scheduled crimes, which marijuana shouldn't be anymore, what is happening is you shouldn't go to prison. You should go to a mandatory rehabilitation.
I'm gonna pause right there. I mean, I kind of agree with this. I feel like marijuana shouldn't be looked down upon the way the system still does in certain areas. I mean, I'm in Colorado. I mean, you can have, you know, marijuana on you a certain amount, but But for people who live in states that still going to prison for having, marijuana on you, and everybody damn near do it nowadays, except me. Everybody do it. I'm high off life. I agree with this. Now, I want to know how this is gonna look in his world if he does get into office and pass this. And say if I don't want to go to rehab and I enjoy smoking, what is that gonna look like?
But see, that's what I was gonna say too. Is he said you shouldn't go to jail, but you should go to mandatory rehab. Okay, so like you just said, what if I'm not? Because to be honest, I don't think too many people ain't addicted to marijuana, because if you had to take a drug test or you had a job or something, people quit all the time. So it ain't something you got to go and have a real rehab with majority of the time. I'm not going to say all the time. But like you said, what if people enjoy that person who the police pulled me over, I got me a little bit on me, and I enjoy smoking. You're going to send me to rehab for what? That's like, you might as well send me to jail. You ain't going to fill the rehab centers up.
Hey, totally. I mean, but it's cheaper to send you to rehab than to jail. But
that's not going to be true either, because once them things start to get filled up, guess what? More money. So that just wouldn't make sense to me. Just, as far as what he said, and then he's going to say something else later on in the interview that's going to cancellate everything he's saying right now. He's saying, oh, it should be thrown out, it should get rid of, and all of that, and then he's going to retract all of that later on in this interview.
I mean, like I said again, man, you weed smokers out there, trust me, your boy DJ Reloaded don't mind y'all smoking weed. Free my weed smokers, man. Free them. Just let them free my weed smokers, man.
All right, let's keep it pushing.
I want to ask you about your running mate. I don't know if you saw. Well, I saw today that a news report broke that Amy Klobuchar was being vetted, and a lot of people on social media, they're not too happy about that. And it's because they want your running mate to be a Black woman. I don't know if you saw the op-ed in the Washington Post by some of the leading Black women voices in this country. And they feel since Black women are such a loyal voting bloc, and Black people saved your political life in the primaries this year, they have things they want from you. And one of them is a Black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple Black women being considered. I'm
going to tell you right now, if he don't have a Black woman as his VP, it's open. I'm a Black man, and trust me, you do not want sisters on your neck. Black women are Black women are very powerful in this new millennium. And the last thing you want to do is to piss them off. So he's gonna have a Black VP. I have a suspicion who it's gonna be. I was speaking with the homie today, and she said the mayor of Georgia, that sister been campaigning hard for it. But hey, at the end of the day, you let him pick somebody other than Barack Obama, he in trouble. He in trouble. Hey, I promise you, if he does, he might as well go ahead and drop out the race. My Black sisters got power, and I stand with y'all.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't Black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the.
How you feel about that last statement there, my brother?
I ain't voting for him. Tell me I ain't Black. I wasn't for him from the beginning. I ain't even no Trump supporter. I ain't vote for him either. So tell me I ain't Black. I bet you can't.
Well, you know,
I talk to little babies in here, and you can't tell me I ain't black.
somebody go jump in the comment section and question your blackness and let you know that you ain't for black people because you ain't voting for Biden.
You know how I'm for black people? It's because I'm trying to talk to my black people and trying to get me and my black people together to unify and to put some wealth into each other. So we ain't got to worry about none of these people. We handle our own situations. But other than that, show me I ain't black.
I just found like I just felt disrespected when he said that though. Like who are you to question my blackness? Who are you to make other black people who are sheeps look at any black person who don't vote for you differently? You know, this is nothing but a divide tactic, and we have to see that and call it out. He apologized for it, but I think he was letting his hair down and being real. I think Joe's a bully. I think that same qualities and demeanor that Trump carry, I think he carries some of that too. As far as voting, hey, I'm still open. At the end of the day, I want to see what Trump's gonna offer, and he's gonna offer. So I'm open. I'm looking forward to voting. I'm looking forward to, continue to, see what each candidate wanted to do. But at the end of the day, I felt disrespected by this comment.
Man, everybody should have felt some type of way about this comment. But like I said, from the beginning of the video, he separated himself a long time ago.
It is what it is, my brother. I just want to, do a quick reaction to it. There were some things that I was cool with, and there were some things that rubbed me the wrong way. My verdict is still out. I don't care for neither one of these individuals that we got to vote for, but we got to vote no matter what.
And he said earlier, we played a little bit ago, that drug marijuana charges, they should just get thrown away. Let's just get rid of it. But then later on, Charlamagne asked him, he said, you said you was going to decriminalize marijuana. What's the difference between decriminalizing it and legalization? And he clearly said, we want to see how the marijuana affects the long-term memory and, your brain and all of that first. So we're going to leave it up to the scientists. I thought you was getting rid of it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a come on, man. Like, you got to pay attention to what people say, man, and you got to really listen. And a lot of the times they talk themselves into a hole, and you have to be able to realize that he been prompted to say that. He have his whole what you're gonna say before he get there. You heard inside that interview, if you watch the whole interview, if you listen to the beginning, somewhere in the middle, he said, "Oh, I talk too much." That's because he was getting off. He was, like DJ Reloaded said, he let his hair down a little bit too much. And it was people behind that camera that was checking him.
It was definitely was. I was kind of confused. And it was like, his wife had to go on a show at 6 now. Keep in mind, I'm on Mountain Time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm hearing this live, I'm on my way to work. About 5:40, I leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to, be nosy. He's in Delaware.
Mm.
That's Eastern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's way past 6 o'clock. Your wife show been going on.
And that's the only setup y'all got?
So it was, I asked a lot of questions to myself. I think it was definitely rehearsed. I think he started letting his hair down and he started getting himself in trouble. I also agree with the comment. I don't think Charlamagne was asking him tough questions. In defense of Charlamagne, I think Joe Biden was out talking Charlamagne.
Yeah, and he was trying to to beat around mostly everything Charlamagne wanted to say. He was talking too dang on much. He didn't want to answer the questions directly. He wanted to go around the circle so he could take up majority of the time.
Facts. So I think that's how he weaseled his way around Charlamagne, because I'm pretty sure Charlamagne was gonna ask him some questions that was gonna piss him off. Joe been doing this for a long time, so he know how to move.
And that interview was only 18 minutes long. Charlamagne, you could clearly see at the end of the interview, was like, why are you doing the black community? Like, why are you leaving so soon? He had more questions for him. He didn't want to get, when Charlamagne started to get a little touchy with the decriminalization, and you heard him retract it, he was ready to go.
That's my defense for Charlamagne and his questions. But for the most part, like I said again, man, I don't know who I'm gonna vote for still. Things, like I said, he could come to the table with a hell of a black proposal, and that's what I'm rocking with. I'm rocking for anybody that's gonna help my community get up out of the hole that it's in. Right. When I'm at work and I'm driving through the city of Denver and I'm with coworkers who's from Denver and they're pointing out the areas that I'm in has been gentrified and I can see it with my own eyes, we need to come together as a community, come together as a people, black, brown, and understand that, it is going to take white people as well to allow those communities to come together and heal so we can move forward. So at the end of the day, I'm for any candidate that's willing to recognize that and allow us to recognize that in ourselves. Because I think part of the problem with black people don't come together is you look at the past and anything that we did, it was criminalized. So I'm all for whatever candidate that allow people to look like me, people that's brown, to move forward.
That's a fact. And that was well put, young man. Well put.
I try.
We try to put things in perspective from our point of view here on the Kanan Reloaded show. We not somebody that say, listen to what we saying, we got all of the answers for you. We just giving y'all our opinion on the situation. It's a couple like-minded people out there. There's a couple people that disagree, but that's what this show is about. We don't mind hearing your views, your points. We want to hear your views and your points. And we just try to give y'all a little bit of from our section and how we feel about these situations. So if you like what you got into or what you saw today or what you experienced here on the Kanan Reloaded show, make sure you share this video. Make sure you share whatever videos you come across at the Kanan Reloaded show. Tell your friends and family about us. Make sure you smash that like button. If you ain't already do it, hit that like button. Help us beat this YouTube algorithm. And if you ain't already subscribed, if you're on Facebook watching this, go over there to that YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button. This has been your boy 305 Kane. There they go, stitch it again.